617-830-4750. Let's go next to our caller from the 347 area code. Who's calling today from 347?
Hello?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, 1 second. Let me get off speaker.
Please.
All right. Hi, this is Kai from Philadelphia.
Hey,
Not
Kai.
quite Jimmy from Philly.
Very good.
So yeah. So I've been thinking about like the rise of anti-intellectualism and like anti-vaxxers and the Americans that don't believe that climate change is a real issue.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you actually get through to those people because it's really like the biggest issue we're gonna be facing in the next few decades.
Yeah, it's an open question. I mean, I think what we don't do is just like throw facts at people, even though we imagine, hey, if I just got facts that didn't coincide with what I think, I would just change my opinion. Maybe some of us would, but for most people, that doesn't really work. What we've heard in our interviews with people who have done documentaries and studied some of these anti-science movements works best is sort of empathic listening to their perspective and sort of a respectful probing about what would change their mind, how did they come to the conclusions, and sort of encouraging them to find contradictory evidence on their own rather than sort of like pummeling them over the head with it. But it's really difficult. And I've said before, like for winning elections, trying to change people's minds isn't a good strategy. You're not going to be able to change Trumpists' minds nearly as easily as you can just find progressives who don't like Trump and convincing them to just go and vote. But you're right that when it comes to society, the anti-vax stuff has a real impact, right? Like we need to figure out a strategy because we've got more measles cases than we've had in 30 years or whatever. And I don't know what the answer is.
Right. And I feel like climate change is going to be our biggest challenge in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and I know this would be a weird strategy to like convince like white nationalist kind of people that climate change is an issue, is that there's going to be a huge migration crisis once like a lot of the big issues hit. I'm not sure if that would be the
That
right
so
strategy.
I've been trying. So I've been, there's an open debate about whether trying to appeal to your political opposition on their values rather than yours is effective. But there are two things that are potentially interesting when trying to talk to the right about climate change. One is if you're a pro-business right winger, it's really hard for businesses to do well if they're underwater. It's really hard for businesses to do well if you have people who are having to migrate inland because coastal cities are underwater. And you're making sort of the exact same point with your idea. And I don't know if that would be effective. I mean, if you're truly a climate change denier in that you simply don't think any of this stuff is going to happen, you probably just ignore it and say, sure, the migration crisis would be bad, but it's not going to happen because climate change is fake.
Right. Well, yeah, something to just think about.
Yep, absolutely. Kai, thank you. Kai from
Thanks,
Philly, great
David.
to hear from you. Appreciate the phone call.